Jennifer Campbell.
Okay. Tell us your birthday.
10/18/1968.
Okay. So tell us where you lived, where you were born.
I was born in Jamaica, in the country, place called St. Elizabeth.
Okay. Tell us about your house, who lived in it.
My mom, my dad, my four sisters, and my three brothers, and me. So there's five girls, three boys.
Can you tell us their names?
My oldest sister name is Michelle, Denise, my brother Tony, me Jennifer, my sister Kay, my sister
It's okay, I'll edit it.
Carlene,
Okay.
my brother Brimsley, and my brother Amar.
Okay. Um, were you in school when you were in Jamaica?
Yes.
What kind of school?
Elementary school, just like here.
And then, how old were you when you stopped going to school?
16.
And what'd you do once you turned 16?
I got a job.
Doing what?
Working as a cook.
Can you tell us about that?
I was a cook. I cooked food.
In a restaurant? At someone's
No.
house?
Someone's house, private.
What kind of food? Jamaican food?
Jamaican food, yes.
So can you describe? I mean, you've never made me Jamaican food, so what kind of Jamaican food?
I don't like to cook anymore. I cook chicken, fish, lobster, shrimp, steak, pork, whatever. Each day was a different meal, different meat.
And who was the person you worked for? Jamaican?
Yes, Mr. Mac and Mrs. Mac. MacLeod.
And did they treat you well?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good. So then, how long did you work for them?
10 years.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yes.
So why'd you come to America? What was the story with that?
I was curious. I like to travel. I used to love to watch The Love Boat. It's a show that comes in Sundays. And it's a big ship that goes around the world and shows you different countries. And I was very fascinated by that. So I wanted to travel.
So
I didn't come to America just to live here. I just wanted to visit. I wanted to just keep traveling.
okay, so
I love my life in Jamaica. My life was great. The best it could be. It was great. I was happy. I was young. I was free. I have no responsibility. Do what I want, go where I want, whenever I want. So.
And how is that different from the life you live here?
Because.
You can be honest.
Because. Jamaica was easier. Like every weekend, I would go to a different country to visit family, relatives, go to different parties, and it was different. Go to the beach, hang out at the beach, go to the night beach.
Okay, so who did you contact to when you decided you wanted to come to America? How did that whole thing
I
go?
have a friend in Michigan. So I came up for 6 months.
So how did you meet this friend?
We grew up together, childhood friend. Then she moved here when she was 16 years old. Went to high school here. So that's how I know her.
Okay,
We're next door neighbors.
Okay, so you just called her and said, "I want to come. What do I need
Yes.
to do?"
That I have a visa and I want to travel. I would like to.
So you
come
did
up.
have a visa.
Yes.
How'd you get a visa?
I went to the Jamaican embassy and I applied for a visa.
How old were
And
you when you did that?
I was 24. And the man was very nice to me. He says, "I'm giving you a Christmas present." I said, "You are?" I said, "What?" He says, "I'm giving you a 10-year visa."
Wow,
Yeah.
that's very nice.
That's right.
And you applied for a visa before you had any job in America.
I wasn't coming to America to work. I was
Okay.
coming here for 4. When you get a visa, they land you for 6 months. You can come for 10 years, but you can only spend 6 months. But you don't want to spend exactly 6 months because you'll overstay. So you stay like 5 months. Then you go back home. You can come back next year. You can come twice in 1 year. So I just came to visit.
So you came to visit your childhood friend in
Mhm.
Michigan,
Yes.
and then
And
what?
she was married. She and her husband. They didn't have any kids. And they go to work every day. And I was home alone every day. And I was bored because I'm not used to not doing anything. I'm not used to just sitting down. So I said, I will look for a job while I'm here for 4 months. Just to have something to do. Because there's nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied for a job in Birmingham at the community house. I paid $20 to register, and then people would call. You leave your phone number, and people would call you, and and set up interview with you and stuff like that. Like some people are looking for people to be like, take care of older people or babies.
So the community house job, they hire you and then they find
No,
a place for
they
you?
didn't hire me. They just take my phone number. I paid $20 to register.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a nanny or somebody, you would go there and put your name down, and if they like how I go and apply, they will give
You the number.
yeah
Okay.
they will give like the person who's hiring my phone number, and you will call me and said I'm interested to meet you and stuff like that. So that's how I met your mother.
Did you know a lot of English at this point?
I speak English my whole life.
Oh, okay.
Jamaica doesn't speak Spanish. We don't speak French.
Isn't there a different language in Jamaica?
No, it's just English, but it's broken English.
Broken English. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So my mom went to the community house
Yes. And
to find. Well, let's talk about Caroline for a second.
okay, so your mom went to the community house and she put her name up, whatever, how they did that. And she got my number and she called me. But she couldn't decide. She was like, can you come for an interview tomorrow? And I said, okay. Then she would call the next day. She would like cancel. Can you come the next day? Like she could make a decision. And I was like,
Sounds about right.
Oh my God. So I have a bunch of people call me. Like one lady called me from New York. She was moving here and she needs someone to take care of her twins. But she was having baby like a month later. And she was like, please don't get a job. Please don't look for a job. I really need you. But I was bored. I'm not used to not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't wait. And then I got a job with an older lady. I was supposed to go and spend the weekend with them to see how I like it. And that same weekend, the lady fell and broke her hip. So she ended up in the hospital. So the husband asked me if I could wait till she recovered. So, of course, that was going to take a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't go. I didn't end up doing that. Then Liz kept calling me. So I came and I met Caroline. I met Brenda that day. So I came to your old house in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
And I met Erin, Liz, Barbara, and Brenda. And Catherine. And Caroline. And Caroline was sitting in Liz's lap. She was wearing like little pink glasses with an eye patch over it. And she has like no hair. She was very tiny. She was only 14 months old. And she was just smiling. Like she's just like so happy. She just giving me the biggest smile, and she was just so happy. I was just smiling. And Liz interviewed me, and she asked me if I would take the job, and I said yes. But I know that I wasn't staying here. It was only gonna be for a few months. So I took the job and I stopped working. And how did I end up staying? I have no plans. I love my life in Jamaica. My life was great. No complaint, no responsibility, So Liz asked me if I would stay. I was like, no, I'm gonna visiting. So when I leave at 5 o'clock, so I start working, start taking care of Caroline. When I leave at 5 o'clock, there was this lady that used to come at 5, so I leave at 5. But sometimes I didn't have a driver's license at that point, so I didn't have a car. My friend would pick me up when he get off work. So sometimes he was running late, so I would have to wait until he get there. So this lady named Sarah, she would come to work and she would feed Caroline her dinner, which was this baby food, like carrots and peas and, baby food. And she has like no patience. She would give Caroline dinner, but she would never give her all of it. She'll be like, oh, she's done. And I said to her, when I feed her, she eats everything,
Still does now.
Yeah, I said, she eats everything. And I said, she's not full. And she said, she doesn't want anymore. And then she would just get on the phone and she would call Domino's to deliver a large pizza. Like for herself, she would eat a whole large pizza. And I'm sitting there waiting for my ride and that lady would just sit there and eat. So while I'm waiting, I will take the rest of the baby food that she says Caroline didn't want, and I would give it to her, and she would eat the whole thing. And I just felt like sick to my stomach that a lady who weighs 300 pounds, who just like stuff her face with a large pizza, doesn't have the patience to give a little premature baby her meal.
Right.
I mean, a full meal, because she's too lazy to do it.
Right.
So it really, really upsets me. Like, it bothers me, and it makes me feel so guilty. Like, this is who's gonna like take care of her.
When I leave, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so wrong, and it's so many levels. How can somebody do this? So it like haunts me, like it bothers me, and I feel so guilty about it. And then your mom asked me again, will you stay? We will sponsor you. We will get you a green card. So I said okay. Because at that point I feel guilty, like if I leave and go back to Jamaica, Caroline will be in my dreams like she's hungry. I mean, she didn't get enough to eat, she didn't get enough to drink. Who's taking care of her?
Right.
So it really bothers me. And until this day, if I'm not with her, that's all I think about. If she drink enough, you know?
Right.
So I end up staying, and Liz and Erin put in my paperwork, and they sponsored me and got me my green card. And now I'm a U.S. citizen.
How do you feel about being a U.S. citizen?
Great. I'm going to vote for the first time this year. And here I am, 23 years later. I'm still with Caroline.
So
my baby.
your baby, yes.
She'll always be my baby. I don't care how old she gets. And she knows it, and she acts like one.
Do you feel like this job was meant to be like this lady broke her hip and this you
No,
just
I just feel like my whole trip coming here from Jamaica, I feel like it was meant to be, not by me or anything. I don't think I have anything to do with it. I honestly believe in my heart that it was all God's plan, that this was my destiny. This is what He chose for me. And who am I to argue with God? I'm
Right.
happy to do what He asked me to do. So,
do you I mean our family is so grateful for you. So do you feel that when you're here, like do you understand to the how much you've helped, and does that make you feel good?
yeah, every day, yes. I know it make a big difference. And your family is great. Your mom is like, she's not old, but she's like a mother to me. And Erin is amazing. Erin never gets mad or yelled at me.
At you, he doesn't get
No,
mad.
He never gets mad at me. Yeah, so Liz is calm and, easygoing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and 3 girls, how many more girls after? 2 more girls after you. Meredith. I only signed up for 1 and I got 2 more after.
So you watched me grow up,
Yes.
and Meredith and Caroline and Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
How does your childhood compare to the way that I grew up? And you can be honest.
Okay, to be very honest, I think my childhood was so much better than yours. If I have one more chance to do it all over again, and I can have your childhood and my childhood, I would choose mine. Because I just feel like mine was like it was just so happy. It was just so exciting. We didn't have much, but we didn't know any different. We didn't have TV growing up. We didn't have refrigerator. We have outdoor bathroom, but you didn't know any different. That was what you have, and that was what people around you in the country have. So it's not like your neighbors have so much more than you did. It's like everybody kind of have outdoor bathrooms. We have rivers. We have ocean. We go to the beach. We go to the river. We have fun. Like kids these days, they don't do anything fun. They're sitting on their phone and they're on their computer. They have play date or friends over, and each one of them are sitting on their phone. Nobody's outside playing. We runs around. We exercise 24/7 because we were like gazelle. We just run everywhere. We walked 15 miles to get to school, and it was fun. Nobody was complaining because everybody were doing the same thing. So it was awesome. It was amazing. We didn't have a lot of clothes or a lot of shoes, but it was fine. We were happy. Now you look at me, I have like too much shoes. And my mom always said to me, if you have 2 pairs of shoes, somebody else is walking barefooted. And you're not supposed to have 2 pairs of shoes if somebody else is walking barefooted. So that's how my mom raised me. And she always just was a giver. If I have 3 pairs of shoes, I will come home from school and one is missing. And I would say, "Where's my shoes?" And my mom was like, "Well, your aunt came by and her daughter doesn't have any shoes, so I gave her a pair." And I would cry. But after she explained to me, like, you cannot wear 3 pair of shoes at once. And if you have 3 pairs, somebody else is barefooted. I kind of understand. And because of the way my mother raised me, that's why I grew up being this kind of person who would just give, give, give. I don't have a problem with giving. I just feel like helping somebody else is always the best thing in life to do. So I have lots of friends, lots of cousins, and we did so much fun things like play games, play marble, play ascotch. We play so many different things. You guys don't do any of those things.
Right.
You go to school, you come home and watch TV. You barely do your homework. You watch TV some more. So it was different.
Okay.
But because of the color of your skin, like I've known people that says that because of the color of their skin, they didn't get that job. They have a degree. That person got their job, doesn't have a degree.
Do you think that'll ever change?
I hope so. But not with Trump around.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that, like, it's very unequal. What else?
Well, I think people should treat it as human being, not by the color of your skin. You shouldn't be judged by the color of your skin. When I walk around, I don't walk around and, and saying, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. I walk around as a person. I don't think you should be judged because you're Chinese or you're black or you're Jewish or you're Caucasian or I think people should treat it as human being.
I agree with you.
You know what I think? I feel like there will always be racism. I don't think it's ever going to go away. I feel like if God had made everybody on this planet white skin, I think there will still be racism. You know why? Because if everybody on earth was white and some people have blonde hair or black hair or blue eyes or brown eyes, I think they would find something to hate each other for. So if there was no black people, no Chinese people, and it was just all just white people, I feel like there will still be racism because if you're a ginger and I have black hair, you will still find something to hate each other for. So I just feel like, I don't know, maybe it's human nature.
It's part of being a human.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's how I think of it. I feel like there will always be racism. Somebody, if you're too tall or you're too short, you'll still be treated different, even if you're the same color.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
What else can I ask you?
What?
I don't know what else to ask you. I keep coming up with questions and forgetting.
Oh, are you still taping?
Yeah, but are you happy that you came to America
Yes.
overall?
Yeah, being here for 23 years, yes. I'm happy. Just like I said, that was my intention at first.
Right.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us, like, your daily life?
My daily life?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you already know?
Yeah, but no one else knows.
My daily life. Okay, let's see. I get up in the morning just like everybody else that goes to work. I make Caroline lunch for school. I get her up, get her dressed, give her breakfast, drive her to school, and she's always rushing me because she doesn't want to be late. Like, let's go, because she's crazy about school. I take her to school, dropped her off. She blew me a kiss goodbye. I left to go to the grocery store. I would go to 2 grocery stores on my way home. I would come home, take the dogs on a walk, do some laundry. Then before you know it, it's time to go pick up Caroline again. Then I go get her, bring her home, give her a snack, change her. Then get dinner ready. And she likes to cook. She always helping me. She loves to be in the kitchen. It's her favorite place in the house. And we make dinner, eat dinner. And the rest is like get her ready for bed. The next day comes again. It's the same thing all over again. Yeah.
Can you tell us about your religion and your religious views?
Okay. I don't have a religion. I don't go to church. I grew up in church. Every Sunday I was in church. I spent my whole life in church as a child growing up until I was 16 years old. I got baptized here in America, but I don't go to church. I don't have a religion because I think one of the problem in the world, there's too many religions, and people just go nuts because nobody's agree with the other person's religion. So there's too many religion. But I am very spiritual. I believe in God more than anything else in life, and He always comes first in my life. I believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God, and those are my beliefs. I worship God. I try to do the right things in life, but I still say there's too many religion, and I don't have a religion. I am spiritual.
Do you pray?
I pray every day and every night. I pray every morning before I drive out of the driveway with Caroline for a safe journey to school and back. And I pray every day. I pray every night. But I don't believe that I need to go to church and sit in church to be a part of God's life. Because most people that go to church, they just go and that's it.
To make themselves feel good?
So my church is not in a building, it's in my heart. And some people only pray once a week when they go to church. I pray every day.
Do you want to tell us about your visions and your dreams?
Is that a part of it?
I mean,
Well,
we just
I
want to get to know you.
Well, I always feel like I have like a close connection spiritually with the universe. Like, I don't know, like sometimes I feel like I'm tapped in somewhere into the universe. I would dream about things that I'm going to do the next day or see the next day. Or I would dream about something that I'm going to watch 2 days later on TV that I would end up seeing. I'm like, oh my God, this is like deja vu. So I would have dreams about God, but my dreams are never about anything bad or evil or anything like that. My dream is always have something to do with God. It's always like spiritual, and that's how my dreams are. And I've been having these dreams since I was like 12 years old. And it's been that way my whole life. So that's why I'm so spiritual, and that's why I'm such a strong believer that there's a higher power, and there's this is not just this world. There's somewhere else. There's a better place than here. And sometimes I don't understand why people are like hating each other. Most of the violence in the world is about two things: religion and land. People fighting for land, and they're fighting over religion. And when you're dead, you can't take anything with you. You don't even get to take your diamond ring with you or your fancy bracelet. You don't get to take anything with you. You get to go into a box into the ground, and that's it. So I don't understand why people are like killing each other over religion, killing each other over land. You can't take any land with you when you died. I never know if anybody would take their house with them when they died.
Right.
So I don't like worship or covet people for what they have or for the things of this world, because I personally know that when I leave, I can't take it with me. So what else?
Do you have anybody that you look up to besides God, but like a person, a celebrity, a family member?
No, I don't look up to celebrity or those people, because they're just all about who buy a house for $15 million or $20 million. And I just feel like it's just, to me, it's just like so wrong that somebody would spend $15 million on a house. And there's so many hungry kids, even in America, that go into bed without dinner. I feel like if I win the lotto, I would like to be rich, but it's not for myself. I want to be rich so I can help people. Like if I win the lotto, I just need a house. I don't need to have 3-4 cars. I just need one car. I can only drive one car at a time. But I would pay for like kids to have scholarship, go to college. They have potential and they can't afford to go to college. There are kids out there who needs to have surgery and their parents can't afford to buy medicine or pay for hospital surgery bills. Those are things that I would do with my money. I would help people, like, not to be hungry, like, you know. So, do I look up to celebrity? No, I have a problem with people making all that money by not doing a whole lot of work and spend $20,000 for shoes. If I win the lotto, I will never buy a bracelet for $5,000. The most I would spend for a pair of shoes is $200. That is if I win the lottery. I believe in helping and I believe in giving, and that's how my mom raised me, and that's the kind of person she was. So those are all the things that I carry with me through my life. What else?
Okay.
So I do not look. Do I look up to celebrity? No.
Um,
Who do I look up to like as a role model? Like Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela. You know, people who. What can I say? People who make a difference in life, who their legacy still lived on for generation to come. Those are Rosa Parks. Yeah.
just talk if you have more to say. Let's hear it.
What else do you want to know? What do you want to know about?
Um, what is your favorite childhood memory?
Being a child. All of it.
Everything?
Everything. Christmas time was so awesome. We would like make Christmas trees from sugarcane arrow.
What's sugarcane arrow?
Well, in Jamaica we have lots of sugarcane. So at Christmas time, the sugarcane will shoot an arrow, and it would make this beautiful flowers. It's very pretty, and we would cut it and put it in vase, and that would we used to say that was Christmas trees. And we used to cut soda can like pot cans, and cut them in little thin pieces and make flowers out of them. And we used to use coconut shells to make clips for our hair. We're very like creative.
Yeah.
We would use like a long waist. It's things that grows in tree. It looks like a rope. So we would cut those and put a piece of wood in the front and tie both fronts, and all of us would be in the middle and we would run down the hill and we would say it's a train. So it used to be fun. We used to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Christmas, it was very windy in Jamaica. Very, there's lots of flowers that blooms at Christmas time. It was always beautiful, amazing. And Easter Sunday, we go to church, and everybody like from all over the country would come to this big Catholic church, and they would bring different kind of food that they cooked and baked goods, and we used to get like a pretty dress for Easter. My mom was a dressmaker. She used to make our clothes, and she would make us this pretty lace dress, and we'll put it on Easter Sunday and go to church, go Easter hunting for eggs, and then Good Friday we weren't allowed to do anything because that was the day Jesus was crucified. So we have to like sit inside. My mom read the Bible, and we weren't allowed to run around or do anything. We have to keep that whole day quiet. And that was it. Christmas and Easter and Good Friday. Yeah.
Caroline's talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite memory in America?
Yes. Meeting Caroline.
Okay.
Meeting Caroline, Catherine, Liz and Erin. Barbara, of course. And then Brenda, who can forget her? I remember her saying to me, "You're going to love it here. I have a lady from Jamaica that works for me. And she's very nice. And you're going to love it here. This is a very nice family."
How did you meet friends in America? You had a friend that was
Well,
here, but...
Your mom would make... there was... Back in those days, there was a lot of au pairs. And it wasn't illegal or anything. People would come from different countries, like young girls. And they would come over here and work for 1 year. They would get like a work visa. And they would come over here and be nannies for like a year. So when I first came here, I didn't have a driver's license. Didn't know how to drive. Because when I lived in the city in Jamaica, it was walking distance. I couldn't afford to buy a car, so I didn't learn to drive because I take a taxi from my house to downtown, or I could walk from my house to the beach. So Liz would introduce me to different au pairs, and that's how I made a lot of my friends, even though they were only here for 1 year, and they were like from Germany, Australia, London, and every Friday night we would have Friday night off, and sometimes there would be like 15 of us. We'll get together and we'll go to Royal Oak and go to the pubs. Like Mr. B's.
That's so fun.
We used to go to house parties in Royal Oak, Halloween parties. We used to go downtown. And sometimes we used to go to some of the girls' houses. They used to have, one of them did have a pool house. And we go there on Sundays and we would cook and hang out in the pool house, and we'd pick up food It was fun. So that's how I met friends when I came here. So I wasn't lonely. Liz would make sure that I always have friends. And that's what we used to do. We all used to get together and go out. And I was like the only black one in the group. There were 15 of us, and I'm the only black one. But they were like, so that's why I said I never really experienced racism. They were all so nice, and we all like drink from each other's glass and share food, and we order something else. You have some of mine, I have some of yours, and we would. That was what we do every weekend. We used to get together every weekend, and they would pick me up, and then when I start driving, when I got my license, I would be the one that drives so they can have a drink. Because I don't drink. I'm too disciplined to have a drink and drive. So I became like the designated driver.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What else?
so you lived with your friend.
I lived with my friend
beginning.
I lived with my friend for 4 months. And I didn't have a car or a license. And your mom's house wasn't a big house at the time. It was her starter house. So my friend used to drop me off. I used to wake up at 5 in the morning. And my friend used to drive me 35 minutes from where he lived to work. And he has to be at work at 7 in the morning. So he would drive, I would get up at 5. He would drop me off at 6. And then when I get to Liz's house, they would be sleeping because it's early. Liz gave me a key. I would let myself in. And I would sleep on the sofa until Caroline wake up. And then my friend would pick me up at 5. And then Liz said to me that if I want to stay at her mom's house, and go home in the weekend, make it easy on my friend. And I said, oh, okay, sure. So I stayed at grandma's house for a few months. And Liz says she was getting a bigger house. So if I want to live with her, there would be room. So that's how I ended up living with your parents for 10 years. Because I have my own room and my own bathroom. And I got my driver's license 6 months after I moved here. So I was able to start driving in 6 months. And Liz and Aaron got me a minivan. I know you guys are so fancy you wouldn't want a minivan right now. You want something nicer. But my first vehicle was a minivan, a Chrysler Town and Country.
Those are nice cars.
I know. So I was driving a minivan and I was learning my way around. So it was pretty good. My friends used to, like, those au pairs used to drop me off on Sundays. They used to come pick me up and take me to wherever I need to go. But it was like I was so happy when I passed my driver's test. I was like, I'm not catching the bus. So I was just so excited.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I keep forgetting.
Well, think about it.
Oh, you were not always the only one helping with Caroline.
Well, when I first came here, your mom had someone from London. And Liz said she wasn't very nice.
The one with the Domino's pizza?
No, that was somebody else.
Oh.
That one came after that lady left. But I never met that lady. She was here when I came, but I never met her. So the Domino's lady was working when I get off work because I leave at 5.
Right.
And then she would come. Actually, when I first met Caroline, and then when your mom told me that she could have a seizure, I got very scared. I was going to quit. Because my oldest sister, who died when she was 22, she had seizure when she was like 8 years old. It started, and she would just fell and hit her head. So it was very scary for me when your mom told me that Caroline could possibly have a seizure. I was like, never take care of a baby before. I have no experience, and what do I do? So I said to my friend that I don't think I can do this because of all my experience with my sister. And my friend says, they seem to be very nice people, so why don't you just give it another week? And if you don't like it, then you can quit. So it was my friend that really actually talked me into not quitting. And he was like, what are the possibilities she's going to have a seizure? So that was like my biggest concern. That was like very scary for me. Mm-hmm. And thank God, maybe God knows how scared I was. Caroline has never had a seizure since I've been with her, so knock on wood.
Yep.
So God keep that one out of it. So, well, yeah, that was my big scare because I've experienced, and my sister had it up until she was 22. She died from cancer. And when she was sick, I was taking care of her. So it's like I was born to take care of people because I took care of my sister. She had cancer, skin cancer, and she was sick for like 4 years. And I take care of her every day. Like I dropped out of school just to take care of my sister. And then my mom got sick, and she spent 3 months in the hospital. And I was there every day, like helping, taking care of her up until when she died. So I feel like I was born to take care of people. So
You've taken care of a lot of people. Is
Yeah.
that why you are very healthy and you like to take care of your body?
well, for me, yeah, I think you get what you put in. So I try to eat healthy. I'm not skinny. I wish I was skinny, but not skinny. I wish I was like 20 pounds lighter. But I eat healthy, but I know that I eat too many calories. Even though it's healthy food, I eat too much calories. Like instead of having a half a cup of oatmeal, that should be like half.
Okay.
But, growing up in Jamaica, we eat very healthy. We never have pop. My mom would never ever let us drink pop. She says it was poison. So until this day, at my age, I've never tasted Diet Coke ever. I don't know what it tastes like. I've never tasted pop.
You would hate it.
Yeah, so she never let us have it, and she didn't let us have a lot of candy. So I grew up I don't like sweets, and we never ever have fast food growing up because we don't have any fast food. When I was growing up in Jamaica, there was no such. The only fast food we have in Jamaica was Kentucky Fried Chicken, and that was in the city, and we never had that either. So when I move here and all this fast food place, it's like I have no desire to eat it. Like I won't eat Burger King, I won't eat McDonald's, I won't eat any of those things because I have no desire. Because I didn't grow up eating that. We grew up eating everything that was cooked at home. We cooked breakfast, we cooked lunch, we cooked dinner, and everything was fresh. We didn't have anything like frozen food. We didn't eat anything frozen. If we needed chicken, it was like prepared today from the farm, fresh chicken. We need steak, it was fresh from the meat market every day. If we need fish, it was like still jumping from the beach. We get fish from the beach, and we're like everything was just fresh. So we didn't eat anything like frozen or refrigerated. And anything we want, we could find it on our property. Orange, grapefruit, tangerine, bananas, plantain, avocado, mango. Everything that we need to eat was there. We have it in our backyard. We have everything.
What did did you live in a village or what was your neighborhood like?
No, we don't have village. That's in Africa.
Well, what is it? Is it
It's just like here. It's what is in the country, where people have farms. You have farm stuff. You have tons of fruit tree. We have so many different kind of fruits in Jamaica that I've never seen here. For the 22 years I've been here, so we have like things that I've never seen here, like very very different kind of fruit. A lot.
Mhm.
What else? We have sugarcane, like as big as my hands. They're like huge sugarcane. We used to like cut the sugarcane and we have a mill. You put it in the mill and you get sugarcane juice. We have coconut. Everything was just fresh. So, and growing up in Jamaica, like how you guys get sick here and have the flu and all those things, we didn't have those things as a child growing up. We didn't get flu shot. If we have like a cold, it was just a cold. It wasn't like a flu. And my mom, you would make marijuana tea, and it would just get rid of your cold. But she never make it strong. It was just like a couple leaves, and that was it. If we have a headache, there was some herb in our backyard we could use for headache. If a baby was like teething, there is herb you can boil for that. We never buy things from a pharmacy. If we have menstrual cramp, we never ever take pills for anything. There was always something on your property that's good for pains and headache and everything. So, like over here, everything you have a headache, you're taking Advil and Tylenol. It's different there.
Right.
And everything that they make here, some of those things are made from herbs, but they took it to the lab and break it down and add all this kind of crap to it. But we never get sick. We're healthy.
Yeah.
We eat healthy. We exercise a lot. We didn't drive anywhere, unless we didn't go to the hospital. I've never been to a hospital my whole life. I've never seen my mother gone to the hospital except to have a baby. That's it. Oh, and my mom was a midwife. Yeah.
Did she go to people's houses or go to the hospital?
Anybody in the neighborhood that couldn't get to the hospital, my mom would deliver babies.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard job.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I remember running like about 14 miles. So we have like a city nurse, a nurse that's, it's like a public health. So like how you go to CVS pharmacy and you could get your flu shot. There was like a place where the nurse lives there, and you could go get the nurse to come deliver the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember after my mom died, I run because my neighbor was having a baby. I run to go get the nurse, and the
Oh
nurse
my
has to
God.
walk all the way back. You know, she didn't have a
Oh,
car
wow.
either to come deliver a baby. So
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
yeah, but it was fun though. That was all you know, so it was
Yeah.
fun.
Right,
Now I'm going to the bank on the corner and I drive. You know,
right.
and I used to gain a pound of weight maybe every 2-3 years. We didn't gain weight. We didn't, except when I went back to Jamaica a few years later. They have McDonald's. And I saw people waiting in line for McDonald's. I'm like, oh my god, they're eating all that garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make you sad at becoming just
yeah.
like.
It makes me sad that they're bringing all this fast food from over here to Jamaica and people are eating it and it's such nastiness and garbage.
Yeah, I mean, it's like American culture
I
just
know.
changing.
It's like I rather starve. You know that America has the most fat people in the world. You see my niece that came here from Jamaica. See how skinny they are? They're all so skinny. Because they do a lot of walking and they cook a lot of food at home. They don't eat. But now I don't know what else they bring in there. There was Burger King when I went there. The line was out the door.
Oh my gosh. That's sad.
I know. Crazy.
Well, do you have anything else you'd like to share?
Mm, well, since I've been here, I get to travel a few places, which is fun. I would like to do more. If only Caroline could get up and go with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
I would like to go to Greece. I would like to go to
Me too.
Monte Carlo. Like, I would like to travel Acapulco. All those places. It's my dream. To see the world. But since I can't see the world, I watch House Hunters International. And I get to see what some part of the world looks like. I love watching History Channel because I get to see. I would love to go to Israel, to go to Jerusalem and Egypt and all those places, but I can't go, so I watch History Channel, and it just takes me back to a time when, you know, like, I try to imagine when Jesus was there walking those grounds, how amazing it would be to just visit there. So, I'm fascinated with history. So.
That's good.
Mhm.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, well,
What
Caroline.
should I include in my thing?
Let's talk about you becoming a citizen and your green card and what that process was like for you.
Oh, well, her dad was very good. He took me to meet with a lawyer, and I applied for my green card, and I got. Oh, when I got my green card, yeah, I was very excited because I was free. Like, I could go. Like, my dream was like, oh, I want to go to Canada. No, I did go to Canada before I got my green card a few times, but I wanted to go places, like other places, and I was like so excited when I got my green card. I can travel now. I can go places. So it was very excited for me getting my green card, and I could go home. Like, my brother died and I couldn't leave the country because once you're in the system processing for a green card, you weren't allowed to even go to Canada. So when my brother died, I couldn't go to the funeral, and I got my green card 2 weeks later, and that was awesome. Then I went to Jamaica and visit my family, which was good. Very exciting. After didn't go home for 10 years.
So that's how long it took, 10 years to get your green card?
Yes. No, it didn't take 10 years. It takes. Well, first you start file the paperwork. It takes a long time. But my first application was denied, so you have to start over with another approach. So it takes like 3 years. But I was here for like total 10 years before I got home, because I didn't start getting my green card right away when I stay here, and that was exciting. And then I could have gotten my citizenship 10 years ago, because I had my green card for like about 18 years. But I didn't apply for a citizenship because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to pass the test. because somebody always said it's 100 question, and they're gonna ask you 100 question, and you have to remember it. And I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna remember 100 question. So that was like really what prevent me from taking my citizenship test. And when Trump start running for president, I started about, oh, I'm gonna deport people who have green cards. I'm gonna deport even people that's been here since they're a baby. I went and took my citizenship test and I passed. They only asked me 10 questions. And out of the 10 questions, they says I can pass 6. So all these years, I was like nervous that I wasn't going to pass 100 questions.
Yeah.
And they only
You
asked
really
me
only-
10 questions. But you don't know which 10 they're going to ask you. So you still have to study the 100 questions. So when she says, oh, your dad, Aaron went with me for my test. And he was in the room. Because he's my lawyer. and one of the questions I didn't remember. And Aaron told me. Yeah. So, and the lady was like, you passed. I was like, really? So I was very happy to be done with that, and I know now I can vote. I can make my first vote count for
Yeah.
someone who deserve it.
Right.
I would never vote for someone like Trump. I will vote for people who cares about people, like not a racist.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Trump thinks all immigrants shouldn't be here. Trump himself is an immigrant. His parents came here from somewhere. His grandparents came here from somewhere. Nobody in America was like born here, except for the American Indians. We're all immigrants. If your grandparents didn't come here, he wouldn't have been here, right? Yeah.
Right.
And I think like he has this thing about immigrants. Immigrants work harder than a lot of Americans. A lot of Americans will just quit their job in a second. Immigrants will like think about, they will not just go quit their job. They work hard. A lot of immigrants buy houses. A lot of Americans don't own a house. And they have a harder way to go because they were not from here. You can't get a green card. You can't get certain jobs. But they can still work hard and buy themselves a house. And then a lot of Americans won't do the jobs that immigrants do. Like, so for instance, they won't go clean a hotel room. They won't go in the field and pick apples and strawberries. They're not going to do any of those things. But they complained that immigrant takes their job. You know how many farmers, like, their crops just rot in the field? Like last year, they lose millions of dollars because the immigrants were not coming in anymore to work on those farms. And the Americans are not doing it. That's beneath them. Immigrants don't have a problem doing those jobs. So that's how I feel about Trump. I believe you should deport people who are here committing a crime, like people who are killing people and robbing people. I feel like those people should. I agree that those people should get deported, but people who are not doing anything, not breaking the law, just being a good citizen, good person, I don't think they should get to send home because they're not from here. That's not what America is about. That's not what our forefather intended. We're all immigrants.
Okay.